And howdy, folks. It's Vile Mike here, and we got Dandelion and Elihu so far. How you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Second cup of coffee.
Say that again, Dandelion. I couldn't hear you.
All right. I'm doing good. I'm sorry. I just realized that my computer had the stream running as well. I needed to run over. I was just over trying to get some stuff done while I'm listening in and, adding some minor inputs.
Yeah, so Mrs. Vile sent me the thing that I used as my thumbnail. That's just part of a, I guess, it's either a Twitter comment or
Truth Social.
It was Truth Social. That's what it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Trump does not post on X anymore. He only posts on Truth Social.
I didn't know this was actually one of his postings. She just sent me the list of changes that are supposed to be introduced by this bill.
So it was a bleat, not an expletive.
I guess so. I have no idea what they call them on Truth Social. With God, that just so.
I call them bleats. I've heard few people call them bleats.
Which would make sense.
Yeah, they call them truths.
Yeah, no. And then on X, I now refer to them as expletives.
Well, do you actually pronounce it expletives or would you call it expletives?
Expletives.
Okay, because I think expletives would be funnier because of the whole X thing.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm just putting the a different emphasis on the different syllable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, as one does.
All right, so, yeah, for the new immigration and visa and all that kind of stuff, this is what we had. As the thumbnail says, a $250 visa integrity fee for non-immigrant visas. That includes like the type of visa that Mrs. Vile has. It already costs $185 just to apply. That means it's going to go up to $435 to apply. That does not mean you get your visa. That just means you apply.
How long is the visa valid for once you do get it?
I think Mrs. Vile will probably be able to confirm. I think it's good for about 4 years.
Okay.
I will double check for you. Hang on a second.
I'm just curious because obviously, if I ever decide to visit the States and something in the future.
Well, here's the other thing. This is just going to hurt tourism, and it's going to hurt states that get tourism from the border states primarily.
Yep.
Because, like Mrs. Vile, what she does is a lot of her money she spends in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
I found the breakdown here.
Encourage tourism, that's for sure.
Sorry. For tourists, validity can range from 1 month to 10 months, depending on your country. Students usually covers the duration of your study program plus 60 days after. Work visas, validity depends on job contract and visa type, usually 1 to 3 years, extendable. Visa expired, as long as you're in the U.S. legally and status is valid, you don't need a valid visa to stay, but you do need a valid visa re-entry after leaving.
All right. Well, the other thing, we got work permits. These are the people that come in to our country to work temporarily or on a permanent basis. One fee is up to $550, and then an additional $500 fee for temporary protected status. So that means just to get a work permit, they want to charge possibly over $1,000.
And yet the U.S. wants to give $1,000 to people to self-deport.
Yeah. Green card adjustment. A new $1,500 fee to try to get a green card. So that means if you marry somebody and you want to have them get a green card, like, I don't know, me and Mrs. Vile, if possible, it's now going to cost us $1,500 in addition to any other fees and things that are already included. And the thing that I think is the most egregious, asylum applications previously free are now going to cost up to $1,000. So I want you to imagine the federal government saying, you lose your home, you lose, all your money, all your possessions. You have nowhere else to go, so you turn to the country that, spouts that it, bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free. And now it's cash up front.
Well, if you have $5 million for that gold card, you can avoid all that bullshit.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But still, there's not enough people on the planet that actually have $5 million to make that worth it.
Yeah, $5 million, you avoid all paperwork. You don't have that? Oh, you got to do paperwork now.
Yeah, I think someone did it. I think someone did the actual numbers to find out how many millionaires there are per country in the that are outside of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Estimating a certain percentage, and I think his percentage was like 25%, wanting to become American citizens or getting dual American citizenship.
Yeah.
And the total amount of money that $5 million would raise if every single one of those 25% of all millionaires that earn enough to actually get that thing wouldn't even pay for a single B2 Spirit.
Nice.
Or not, maybe it wasn't a B2 Spirit. Maybe it was the new one. I can't remember. So, yeah, basically, this bill, which, as I said, it hasn't actually gone through yet, is just going to make it harder to become a United States citizen.
So now the process is, if you're seeking asylum from another country to the U.S., you have to declare asylum at the border. That was the way it was. Then you were allowed to go in, enter paperwork, and all the other shit. Now, if you go there, you go, I request asylum. What are they going to tell you? Okay, where's your money? Yeah, people are getting. This is scary and threatening for people, man.
Well, according to the United Nations, basically rules on requesting asylum, you have to step foot onto the soil of the country you are requesting asylum to in order for that to actually start.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have $1,000 now, you can't get asylum.
So that basically limits it to coming to the country illegally so you can request asylum, which is what how 99% of all asylum seekers do it. Or 2, step foot onto a embassy or consulate to do the same. But the problem is, then you're stuck either still in the country that you're originally in, you're trying to escape from, or traveling to a country that is not your main country that has a consulate or embassy to do so. And now you're being forced to live into a area where you have no job to get asylum status. I mean, it's just basically the U.S. is starting to close its borders.
Yep.
Well, and every time in history we've done something like that, it's been a detriment to our country in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it never reflects well on us as a society when we turn people away. And every time that countries have let people in, it's been a net benefit in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Because diverse ideas tend to be better for a group effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, innovation and such.
So that was basically one of the first things I wanted to talk about because it's just so freaking crazy in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask Dandelion a question.
Okay.
Do you happen to have any information? Is there a payment fee payment fee for a U.S. citizen to visit Canada?
Not that I'm aware of. I think you can just come visit.
Okay, I was just
The best of my
curious.
I don't know for absolute certain, but to the best of my knowledge, you can just come visit. I don't think we charge for like a visa or anything.
I know a work visa you have to get something, but I'm like a visitor
Yeah, but
visa.
just to visit? No, I think you can just visit from the States.
Yeah, Elihu posted something that Mrs. Vile responded to on Twitter. That was Mexico should start implementing a $500 fee just to enter the country temporarily.
Yeah.
And of course, Mrs. Vile was like, "Well, I wouldn't say no to that right now with everything that's happening, except it would affect a certain gringo."
Yeah, but it would help offset the financial retribution that the cartels are doing in Mexico. It'll help offset that cost. Come on.
Yeah.
Claudia should do this.
Well, I could understand it, but it would also make it a lot harder for me to see Mrs. Vile. Maybe we should get they should implement an exemption fee for certain gringos.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then what do you guys think about the new tariffs?
Wait, I thought tariffs are only supposed to affect drug trafficking and ripping up the U.S., not political reasons.
Well, can you expand on that?
Yeah, Trump is issuing threatening some tariffs on an ex-president of Brazil, just because the ex-president is being charged for fraud. He wants to implement extra tariffs on Brazil because of this, not because of drugs, but because of an ex-politician being charged for a crime. What is up with these tariffs? Is it drugs or is it political reasons? I'm still confused.
I think they might be confused as well, because they're like saying that it's supposedly because of trade deficits, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
because we
screwing the
actually have a
US or
trade
drugs.
surplus with Brazil.
Like
Yeah, if we
smaller
have-
countries are never going to buy more of your stuff than you sell to them. Just not logical, right? Like on a per capita basis, like, oh, this poor country needs to buy as much from us as we buy from them.
And yet,
then even countries where they actually have a trade surplus, they still put in a tariff. It makes no sense at all.
Yeah, the president has constantly claimed in the past that the countries will pay for this. The United States will have U.S. citizens will not even have to worry about this. Why did he post complaining about Walmart, saying, "Yeah, the consumers have to eat the tariffs"? Basically, he's admitting that people are paying extra high prices, and he's complaining that Walmart is not lowering their prices for this.
Well, the dumb thing is that the point of tariffs is that things will be more expensive, which supposedly makes domestic items competitive, which they would otherwise not be. But why would you say that it's not going to raise prices when it inevitably is? Because that's what tariffs are supposed to do. I don't know. Makes no sense.
Well, one of the things that is kind of funny, one of the things that Trump said he was going to try to do in office this time was curb inflation, right? That was one of the big sticking points because COVID, obviously, a worldwide pandemic is going to cause things to go up in price. But he blamed Biden for not.
I'm just muting for a second. I have to make a bunch of noise in the kitchen.
No worries. So a lot of things went up. That was higher than the 2% standard worldwide. I think Biden got it down to what was it, 2.2, but that still wasn't good enough, right? Well, for June, the inflation rate under the current administration was 4.4%, and in May it was 5%.
I thought it was 5.2.
On mine, it just says on what I'm looking at, which is an ABC report, it was just 5%.
Oh,
but
I thought last month was 5.2. Yeah, I thought it went over 5 last month.
So the primary reason for this inflation rate which is not worldwide right now, it's just for the United States, is these fluctuating tariffs. Because a lot of companies in the US don't seem to know month to month how to budget if things are going to go that high or that low or stay the same, which makes sense. I mean, if you don't know next month if the stuff you need to operate your business is going to go up in price, how do you actually budget and facilitate that? Well, they're managing it by just raising the prices all across the board. It doesn't matter if there's going to be a tariff in place or not.
It does not matter if your item is made locally. Think about the packaging. That packaging, they have to import somewhere else, okay? Yeah, Coca-Cola may be made in the United States, but that plastic bottle, if they package it in aluminum cans, are not. This is why consumer prices are still climbing and getting higher.
There was a video on YouTube where this guy makes leather products, right? And he uses a very old American-made machine to do so. And the machine is like almost 100 years old at this point. And he, puts on his products, proudly made in the USA, proudly machined in the USA, all that kind of stuff. So he sources his leather from local things. His machine that he uses is made in the was made in the United States. He, of course, lives in the United States. Everything is made in America, except for the fact that because his machine is so old, the parts aren't made in America anymore. The only places he can get the parts are from other countries. And like he was saying, for example, the ball bearings are now made that can only work for this machine are only made by a single factory in China. So they cost like several $100s a piece just for the frickin' bearings. So if the price of the ball bearings goes up, the cost of his stuff will still go up, despite the fact that everything he does is made in America, just because the cost of maintaining the machine he uses, which is American made, will go up to maintain it.
Still don't understand how people have a hard time understanding that basic concept.
And he goes, he had some people say, well, why don't you just buy newer machines? Well, because the machines he uses for his leather products aren't made in the US anymore. The only places that make them are India, Pakistan, China. So if he has to buy new machines, he still has to buy them from China. And then he can't advertise the fact that his products are machined in America. I mean, we have not been a single source economy, I don't think, for the entire length of the time this country has existed. We've always relied on the fact that the economy is now global.
Yeah, a certain amount of trade anyway. We all do. I mean, that's how the whole country, the whole planet has kind of got itself set up that way at this point.
Yeah.
And trying to change it is sort of like trying to stuff the toothpaste back into the tube. And a lot of what's happening is countries are just going to each other and they're just like circumventing the US entirely. I mean, people aren't like, I know your tourism is down.
The whole economic boost of trade started with Nixon. You guys got to remember that.
Well,
remember the old Vulcan proverb: "Only Nixon can go to China." If Nixon did not talk to the Chinese government about trade, U.S. economy would have collapsed. Republicans and Democrats agreed that in the '60s. If Nixon never talked to China, U.S. economy would have went complete.
Well, it wouldn't have collapsed. There would have been a huge recession.
Sorry.
Kyle, I just have a question. Are you finding border crossings to be faster these days? Like, are there fewer people crossing your border?
So we were actually talking about that last night. Me and Mrs. Vile went to one of her friends' birthday parties. It was actually a married couple that have the same birthday. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about the kind of stuff because a while back I complained that I went to secondary 4 times in a row. And, we're crossing, say, every other week. You're not supposed to go to secondary if you go to secondary, you're not supposed to go for another 6 weeks.
Yeah,
'Cause
Bill
it's
gets
supposed-
pulled into secondary all the time. He's one of our staff people who works in our U.S. office, but he lives in
Mhm.
Canada.
So the fact that I got pulled over every 2 weeks for 8 weeks was very irregular.
Hmm.
Since then, the last 4 times I crossed, I have not got pulled over to secondary at all.
Hmm.
The other thing I've noticed, one, the National Guard is no longer, or the Mexican National Guard is no longer searching vehicles before the border because they're kind of pissed at Trump.
right.
That was one of the things that they agreed to in order to curb drugs and stuff like that happen crossing the border.
Yeah.
So they've stopped doing that, and that's eased up border crossings and made them a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But
I just meant in terms of volume. Are there more people or fewer
volume
people?
is about the same. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, I'm just curious.
But what I have noticed is on the U.S. side, there are fewer border agents working the borders.
They're all off elsewhere.
That is my thought, and that's what, according to one and only one that I talked to, he said that it was because of those, all the helping out the ICE agents and stuff.
Oh my God! That's
So less people means less time, less inspection, longer crossing time.
Well, one thing we found on the border here is that the U.S. is actually stopping and inspecting vehicles that are prior to the border crossing. Even they're getting pulled over like on a road, like they're heading towards the border crossing. They get pulled over and searched before they go into Canada, like by the U.S. inspectors. Like, why would they care about you going to Canada? Like, why would they care about you leaving the U.S.? Like, why would they inspect vehicles that are leaving the States?
Well, see, here's the funny thing. They were supposed to actually implement that, which they never have so far, at the Mexican border, because they're supposed to be preventing guns from going into Mexico.
Oh, okay.
But as of yet, I have not seen any U.S. customs searching vehicles prior to entering Mexico.
Well, probably the gun industry really doesn't want to curb that because they're probably making lots of money that way.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes more sense to like say, yeah, we're doing it. We inspect X number of vehicles at the border every day or whatever, right? But they're actually inspecting the ones coming into Canada, where I'm sure some guns come into Canada. I have no doubt guns come into Canada from the States, but probably not in the kind of volume that they do going across the southern border, would be my guess.
It's estimated for every gun death in Mexico, 9 out of 10 of those guns were bought in the United States legally.
Huh, super. That's fantastic.
So yeah, if you're worried about gun violence, if you ever go to Mexico, blame the U.S.
Okay.
Blame America. Blame America.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is another thing that's just bugging us to the point where yeah, people are canceling trips. I mean, San Diego is investing heavily into Comic-Con this year, primarily trying to not lose as much income from tourism.
Well,
Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was reading an article. Actually, I wasn't reading. I'm sure it was something I heard on a YouTube video or something, that some of the FIFA games are actually getting moved, like more of them. Originally, I think we were supposed to get 10 of the FIFA World Cup games in Canada, but there's some countries like Iran and other countries that are requesting that their games be played in Canada because they want their tourists, like they want their fans to be able to come and visit, and they won't be able to get into the States.
Yeah,
they're worried that if they get into the States, they're just going to get arrested and held in a detention center for months and months and months, just trying to come and watch a freaking football game. I'm sorry, soccer game.
Yeah, that's been happening here because when FIFA had their game a couple weeks ago, DHS and ICE said they were going to provide security for the stadium. Police erupted like, no, this is our job. Get the fuck out of here. People were protesting. The stadium before the game started was about 10% full because people were scared. People were saying, "Hey, ICE is not here. Police is here. We're protecting everybody." Then all of a sudden, everybody showed up, and they found out ICE was no longer allowed.
Well, some of the countries are on the no-fly list, right? Like you can't be from this country and go to the States, right? And some of those, the thing is, though, but the players and the coaches can, but none of the other support staff, none of the fans are allowed to come into your country. And so those teams are requesting that their games be played in Canada instead, because we don't have those particular regulations.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's looking possibly like Canada might get a few more of the games than we had originally anticipated, which is great for our economy because it brings in a lot of, tourist dollars and hotel dollars and stuff. I heard we might even get a quarterfinal game, which is awesome.
Well, it's estimated that San Diego has lost about 21% of its Mexican tourism revenue for the year so far.
Yeah, I mean, it just, the whole thing is just
and
crazy.
Like to imagine how big Comic-Con is, and I tried to explain this to a friend of mine who didn't understand numbers. Comic-Con is 3 days in San Diego. Okay, it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Thursday. I thought something happens on Thursday.
Well, Thursday is a setup day, so it's not a full day. It's not, but it's the day that things are set up for. But for most of the sales are that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That Friday, Saturday, and Sunday makes up 5% of our entire tourism revenue for the year.
That's about 30-40 million.
That is less than 1% of the year, making 5% of the income. So, yeah, Comic-Con is a very big deal in San Diego.
And it probably generally would have drawn in a lot of international travelers.
It absolutely does.
It does draw Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest Comic-Con in the United States. Period.
There is only one convention in the entire planet that is larger than San Diego Comic-Con, and that is Tokyo Con.
Yeah.
And that's because Tokyo Con takes over like a massive section of Tokyo itself, not just a convention center and a ballpark and stuff like that.
It's like 3 square blocks.
We're talking about 30 square blocks.
Ugh, that sounds like something I would so not do.
And I believe I could be wrong about it. Elijah, correct me if I'm wrong. Tokyo Con also lasts longer, I believe. Correct?
I think it's 2.5 weeks or something.
Yeah, it's not just 3 days.
Oh, that's a big event.
So
God, I never opened the chicken's door. Okay, never mind. I'll go.
Yeah, some conventioners in charge of the San Diego Comic-Con are worried about ICE showing up and especially being undercover because this is California. People will take their hot dog cards, their juice cards, and sell stuff on the little vending cards. And people are afraid of that. Yeah, people are afraid. They let them do that. It's like, do that inside, do it outside, as long as they do not interfere with the flow of business. Everybody complies with that. They're afraid that ICE and undercover, quote unquote, undercover ICE agents are going to be harassing these people, and which means they're going to be harassing the people, which means fans are going to get involved, which means they're going to get involved. They don't want this.
Yeah.
They are scared right now.
Oh, well, people are kind of boycotting.
Go ahead.
Some people are boycotting, and other people are just like, I don't want to try crossing the border. Like, I don't want to run the risk of getting, detained. I mean, they have quotas. They have actual quotas. As soon as you have quotas, they're randomly going to have to detain people just to hit their numbers.
And not only do they have quotas, their quotas are freaking nuts because they want what was it? Each ICE agent is supposed to have 400 arrests per year now.
It's like 3,000 a day altogether or something. It's just, it doesn't give them time to actually look for people who are actually criminals. It gives you the opportunity to just scoop up the easy pickings.
Yeah, especially when, hold on, it's even worse than you think because what they want is the arrests. They don't care about the actual convictions. They want the arrest numbers to be high. That means they don't have an issue. If someone says that they're a U.S. citizen and they have their U.S. IDs, they're not going to stop. They're still going to arrest you because they want that arrest number. They don't care if you're legal or not.
Yeah. Well, that alligator Auschwitz, apparently people in there, some of those people are American. Like,
Yeah,
a lot of them are Americans. A lot of them have found out that the major crime infraction that they, major criminal activity that they had in America was traffic violations.
Oh,
One 15-year-old. What was the 15-year-old minor's infraction? Ditching school. A 15-year-old minor was held at the alligator Auschwitz. His infraction was missing school, ditching school. That was his criminal record. Ditching school.
Well, again, they don't care because remember the company that built Alligator Auschwitz, they get paid regardless of the actual immigration status of the people being detained there.
Yeah, they thought the kid was lying. So, like, you're not a kid.
So if you're an American citizen and you're being detained in one of these facilities, the people who built the facility still get the money from the U.S. government for however long you're detained there. So they don't care. It's
not cool.
So, and since we're still running out of time, I want to go to the third thing, the first thing I even put on there. More of the Epstein stuff. Because this is what I'm really confused about, and maybe you guys can explain it to me. So, the Epstein list and the Epstein documents were created by the Democrats, but they also don't exist. So that's why they're not being released. And then they're also a hoax by the Democrats.
The very first charge was done under Bush. That was the first charges under Epstein was under Bush administration. They're the ones that first originally fucking charged them.
Now, when some of the legal experts that I listened to, they said that a lot of the documents that are related to Epstein were sealed for various reasons, mostly to protect the victims.
Okay, that is partially true because the judge has found several judges have actually looked at this, and they found out that some of the statements were false names, some were true names. So names were actually redacted, protect the falsely accused, like Jacques Cousteau's son, who was falsely accused. Jacques Cousteau himself was falsely accused. Yeah, some people's names were redacted because they were falsely accused. So that part is partially true.
And from what I understand, one of the victims actually agreed to have her stuff unsealed, which she listed, I think 9 to 10 people, including Epstein, that essentially did things to her when she was a minor. One of the more contentious ones on her list was Alan Dershowitz, the attorney, because he, was very prolific. He was a very good attorney for all things considered. But knowing that he was on the list was kind of like a blow to certain people in my communities on the legal side, because they're like, wow, how the fuck is this guy on the list?
This is a dog and pony show because Trump was so-called ordered Pam Bondi to really answer these files, but she doesn't need the presidential order because she already has that legal order to do it herself. She's supposedly done everything. She has everything. The jury list does not include client fact names. It just includes statements of previous alleged incidents.
Was the grand jury?
Yeah.
The
testimony,
the statement, the grand jury.
Yeah, no list was public.
Only be released by the judge who oversaw that case. And
well, here's the other thing. Do you know what?
So it actually puts it at the judge's discretion, and judges very rarely will release grand jury testimony. And
here's the other thing.
Not in front of the grand jury. Most of it was like, meetings and interviews elsewhere.
Okay, but here's the thing. Do you know what a grand jury is, Dandelion?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so for those that don't know, a grand jury is not bigger than a regular jury. It basically is, they get a group of people together, They show them some of the evidence against a single individual. In this case, it was Jeffrey Epstein. And they decide whether that evidence is good enough to actually bring the charges against them.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if they release the grand jury stuff, the only evidence that will ever be released is regarding Jeffrey Epstein himself anyway. It's not going to include anyone else's names in anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a great
saying
way
that they're going to
look like
release
you're
this
doing
is
something without doing
smoke and
something.
mirrors.
Yeah. It makes it look like you're complying with everybody's wants, but in fact, you're providing them the least possible amount of information. Morning, Pickles.
Yep, and happy birthday, LDG.
Oh, is it your birthday? Pickles?
Yesterday was his birthday.
Oh, happy
shit! I forgot about that,
Pickles.
dude. Happy birthday! I forgot about that. Sorry, man.
That's actually why the next stream is called HBD LDG. Happy birthday.
Nice.
Sorry, dude.
And I don't usually give my own birthday out on the internet just because, identity theft. So I usually give like a slightly false birthday.
It's funny you should say that. I do also have on my spam account, I have a completely fake birthday, and it's always funny when I start receiving, best birthday wishes from companies I've never visited.
I know, and I'm like, where did I give that one? I know, because I usually, I'll change the year, I'll change the month, I'll change the day.
Well, my birthday is next month.
What I really think is funny is you can tell that the lists are just harvested from data online because the particular person that the person I created has a fake name, fake birthday, fake everything.
Yep.
But that person has received driver's license notifications from other states that that person has never even claimed to live in. Social Security information, because I literally put a fake Social Security number. It's literally 666-66-6666.
Right. And
I've gotten like stuff from the Social Security Administration saying that, we might have money that belongs to you.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten tax documents and credit card offers for this person who does not exist.
Great.
And I mean credit card offers from legitimate banks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because this person I created has an online presence going back almost 30 years.
Nice. Well, if you ever need to create a false identity, you've already got
Yeah. I could easily do an Andy Dufresne. But to go back to the Epstein stuff, I just don't understand how certain people don't seem to care about it anymore. I mean, when Pizzagate was a whole, that we know that Pizzagate was a hoax. Yet it drove at least one person to actually, hold people at gunpoint over it. That's how passionate the certain people on the right were about stopping pedophilia.
I think lots of people do still care about it.
Some of them do, but not all of them. Now it's just, why are we still talking about it? That's like a lot of people are pushing that narrative.
That was the talking point that the Trump administration sent out to all the talking heads. But most of them have gone back to talking about it again because people do care. Yeah,
but the thing is, he's claiming it's all fake now. It's like, okay, let's release the fake list. It's real list. It's a fake list. Some names are made up on there. Like, what the fuck? Just release every fucking single piece of paper there is, like you promised you would with the JFK, MLK, Epstein. You said you would do this when you got elected. Do your fucking promise.
Well, remember, when he did release some of the JFK stuff, they accidentally released a lot of Social Security numbers of people that they should not have done that to.
Uh-huh.
So, go ahead and release the information. Have a special counsel go over it to redact victim names, Social Security numbers, credit information, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
and then release everything else.
Yep.
I don't see, and if you're claiming that portions of it entirely or in whole were written by your Democratic rivals, show the evidence that that information was forged by those individuals, and then prosecute those individuals for forging documents.
Well, the dumb thing is, when Epstein died in prison, Trump was president. So I just don't understand how the Democrats supposedly set all this shit up when they weren't even there.
Dandelion, you want to know how insane some people seem to be, in my opinion?
I guess.
I had a coworker said that that Hillary killed Epstein while she was president.
Oh, wow.
And I was
President of
really
what?
confused about that. I'm like, when was Hillary elected president? And he goes, between Trump and Biden.
What?
And I
You guys
was
have a
literally like,
serious
What?
education problem in your country. Like, wow.
I was honestly confused. I was trying to show you, Trump was okay. So Bush was what was 43 or 42 or something like that. Obama was
Bush.
43.
Bush, Clinton, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump.
But I was just like, how do you think that she was president? And she's like, well, she was in control of the government. I'm like, she was Secretary of State under Obama, but that was about it.
So Christy Noem is in charge of this country and not Trump?
Well, that could be argued.
More likely Stephen Miller, but
Oh, by the way, since this is still political, I just wanted to mention that if anybody is on Medicaid, Medicare, Medi-Cal, and it's listed on different programs under each state, it's not called Medicaid or Medi-Cal, it's listed on different programs. If you aren't listed in that program, the U.S. government has ICE has everyone's information, name, birth name, social security number, address, phone number, which basically means
And-
if you have, hang on, if you have a Hispanic last name, you are going to be targeted because they are looking specifically for minorities who are quote unquote engaging in fraudulent system abuse, which means if you have a Hispanic last name, your name is getting flagged.
But
sorry,
here's
man.
the thing: you can't get Medicaid as a non-citizen. Period.
Yeah.
Unless the only times you can ever get that kind of stuff if it's emergency care at
I
an
know.
emergency room, and it's to
I know.
waive those fees for people who are not U.S. citizens. That's it, and it makes up a tiny fraction of the
know,
Medicaid budget.
They now have access to this information, which means I'm a fucking target.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say your last name, but yeah.
Make sure
No,
you're
yeah,
carrying
I'm
your
a-
passport around, Elihu.
What?
Make sure you're carrying your documentation. You don't have a passport.
It doesn't matter if I carry my documentation. They will still say, I don't believe your ID is real or not. They have done this to U.S. citizens. It does not matter whether I carry anything or not.
What would help?
Yeah, it could help, but some of these people who are claiming they U.S. citizens that ICE detains, they have yet to get their IDs back.
Yeah.
Well, remember, the Navajo Nation just filed another injunction with the federal government because a lot of their people are being arrested in Arizona because people are claiming that they're illegals and they're not accepting tribal documents as legal documents.
Man.
And that's what scares me about, my daughter being, fully Native American, that they're going to argue that she's not a U.S. citizen, so they're going to detain her.
Yeah, this is why I'm careful when I go to the Mission District.
I mean, we can't even get her birth certificate right now. We've been trying for a long time to get her birth certificate. We can't do it.
Man. Well, Elihu, I don't know. Do you have any friends who are lawyers or something that you can, like, kind of thing?
Not
'Cause I know,
really.
yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I know you probably couldn't put anything on retainer, but I would definitely contact. I I'm not going to promote another YouTuber per se, but the legal guy, Legal Eagle. Call his number, see if they can put you up with a nonprofit.
Yeah, or
there are shitloads of nonprofits here in the city I can hook up with. I mean, yeah.
Or the Midas people, or Mark Elias's group. There's like a lot of different like online law organizations that could possibly like hook you up with.
But at least one that'll
hang on a second.
Say that will represent you.
The best tip I was ever told or anything, I'm going to pass this along. If you are detained and you are a legal citizen and you have no remember of a phone number to call anybody for help, do not call 911. Call the suicide hotline. Why? Because they will relay the information for you. They listen. They care. Tell them what's going on. Tell them what your name, your social security number, where you're at, what happened. Tell them.
Cut funding to the suicide hotline?
No, they only cut funding for the LGBT youth. The veterans and LGBT youth funding. They only cut that part. But just call the suicide hotline. Tell them I'm an American citizen. I'm feeling threatened. I'm feeling in danger. This is my name, my social security number. This is where I'm at. Call the suicide hotline. They will relay the information for you. Trust me, they care. Yeah. I'm passing that message along to anybody. Okay.
All right, so I don't know about you, but hopefully I've vented enough to not be distracted at the next stream. How about you guys?
I don't think there is enough to be distracted from like all the craziness. I mean, it's not even the country I'm living in, and I'm still like worried for you people.
Well, it's like when your neighbor starts doing really weird shit that scares you.
Yeah.
Like, imagine your neighbor starts, says he's not putting in landmines, but is start digging up holes and putting round discs inside the holes and then covering up and then putting flags.
You start hearing shouting from next door and you suspect that like the dude's beating his wife or something. It's sort of like that. You're like, what do I do?
Oh my fucking gosh.
Right? Like, but the guy that's like living next door is like the chief of police. So who the hell do you call? Like, you can't call the police. The guy beating his wife.
Unprecedented times.
Do you want to hear his latest? You want to hear the Orange Idiot's latest post?
No. Go ahead, but I'm going to end the stream as soon as you're done.
Yeah.
The Washington Whatevers should immediately change the name back to the Washington Redskins football team. There was a big clamoring for this. Likewise, the Cleveland Indians, one of the 6 original baseball teams, with the story past. A great Indian people in massive numbers want this to happen. Their heritage and prestige is systematically being taken away from them. Times are different now, and they were 3 or 4 years ago. We are a country of passion and common sense. Owners, get it done. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with him? What the fuck was that statement?
Back.
Our great Indian people? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, considering he's literally his administration's argued at least 3 times since he took office to revoke citizenship status from Native Americans.
We
That's why I had to read that, man.
Indians anymore? Like, seriously?
That's why I read that statement. I'm like, holy fucking shit! Yeah, that statement. Our great.
Hold on, Daniel. There are groups of natives in this country who do like the name Indian.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's what I'm saying. In Canada, we don't even use that term anymore, unless people
Inuit.
from India.
Yeah, you're an Inuit.
No, they're native.
If any native group wants to call themselves Indians, I have no objections. Yeah. I don't consider it a derogatory term. I leave it up to the individual Indian nations or Native American nations to decide what they want to be called, whether they want to be called natives, Native Americans, Indians, whatever.
First Peoples, whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. But like, we haven't used that term to refer to Native people in like, I don't know. I can't even remember when we like last used that as a term. Like, it's just uses it. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll see you in
about 10 minutes.
All right. Lovely.
Okay. See you in 10.
Right. Later, folks.
See you guys soon. Bye.
Later.